Man, no, they built to just sexually
Deal with
date
one
with one
woman.
woman. It's now biology of man.
Oh.
All right, let's begin. The reason we need to address this, and it's not everything that flies around on the internet, it's not everything that you see that requires a response, but there are some things that when they make their way to social media, they absolutely have to be responded to, and this is one of them. Now, the reason that it is necessary to address something like this, even after some things have been said afterwards, the reason that it is necessary is because we cannot have a society, we cannot afford to have a society where young boys, young men grow up listening to this, especially when it's coming from a high-profile person. The reason is it's very easy for human beings to associate success with lifestyle, to put them together. And when it now coincides with convenience, something that I don't need to work on, I don't need to discipline myself to attain to this, I don't need to put in, it's almost always the way that the young man will choose to go. So it's important that we put that, things be said about this. And backlash is not enough. It's not just enough for you to say, I don't agree with this. It's also important to lay out certain points. What's your logic? What's your reasoning behind this? To lay it out so that the person that reads can be able to run with that. Make any sense? All right. So that would lead into the first point that I would like to address in a video like this. The first question that I ask myself when I see people make bold statements like this is, according to who? Because everybody has a report and you have the choice to believe whose report you want to believe. So the first thing is according to who. Even in something like science, there is a full process for establishing something that is law. There is a process that some things will have to go through, that thoughts will have to go through before they are accepted as law. We start with observation, then we go to hypothesis. Then the hypothesis that we now have, we will now begin to carry out a series of tests under different conditions across several environments to make sure that it applies not just here, but it's also applicable across other areas before we can begin to even admit, it's like this thing is law, it's like this thing is what abiding, it's like this thing is what it is. Because when you make conclusive statements like it's in biology, it would almost seem as if there is scientific document or research work or there's a paper to support that. Anything else apart from leaning towards your convenience. So when you make a statement like that, when you put it out like that, my first question is always, according to who? Why should we take this report? That is number one. Number two, think about the fact that a man can be committed to one person and not find it deep to flirt with other women. Some men know, as long as he doesn't read to the other room, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not that deep. Women are also just as likely to not think that receiving gifts and support from other men or from multiple sources is not deep like that. It doesn't equate to infidelity. You see, if a man is not built to be committed to only one woman, even sexually, then a woman is not designed or built to be maintained by the resources of only one man. She must also then be allowed to receive these resources from as many men as are willing to give it to her. And of course, deal with the consequences and the fallout of what that kind of situation would bring. Because the men, they seem to be okay with not being committed to one person sexually and dealing with the fallout and the consequences of the effects that would have on their home. Now, what I'm saying may not look connected to you, but the dots will begin to connect in your head when you realize that this world fundamentally runs on two things. One is money. Two, women. And if you think that this is a stretch, if you believe that these two things are not equatable and that on a daily basis, major deals that determine the cause and the outcome of many areas of your life, deals that affect you personally, are not being decided by the exchange of just these two things, you are either being very emotional or you are so naive you don't understand how your world works. See, let me tell you, this is the culture of this world. And every time you want to understand the culture of any people, you look at their music. Because music is one thing that human beings as a species use to preserve and immortalize their feelings on a communal scale over and across time. Because think about it, music needs to be relatable in order to sell. If I make music that any other person cannot relate to, then it's only my family that will be playing the hit track and it will die there. So for music to be accepted on a large scale, it needs to speak to the feelings, the emotions, and what is accepted or acceptable within a particular community or society. And that is why from now, from when they born you till when you leave this world and all the generations that will come after you, the music of this world will only ever speak to two things: money and women. Because these are the currencies that make this world continue spinning. These are the things that everybody, as long as you have fresh, these are the things that appeal to everybody all at once. And if you come to think about it, each gender is in control of one of the two, because women are in control of their bodies and men will almost always dominantly be in control of the money circulating in any system, in any economy. Because if it comes down to it, we'll go to war, we'll fight over it. You may not know this, but the line between sophistication, between civilization and primitivity is very thin, is very small, because now I say fight over it, somebody may be thinking, where is this tease? The line is always very little. And that's why you can see an MD, a bank CEO, a leader of industry outside with a sharp cloth, plenty cars. They command all the respect in the world. But you can also find that same man inside the room with a 200 level young gear that have not achieved anything in her entire life, begging her, please now, let me have this thing. And you'll be wondering, where is all the sophistication? The line is always very thin. So listen to me, let me tell you this. See, the only people in this world who will ever truly be successful are the people that not only know how to get these things, you understand what I'm referring to, Abi? I mean the currencies that keep this world spinning, but also know how to keep, manage, and be disciplined in their dealings with them. So when anybody comes out to tell you something like this is how a man is, it's in their biology, it's in their DNA, I would like to let you know that it is not based on any law, any theory, on anything empirical, not at all. It is rather based on observation that supports our weaknesses, and because it is convenient, we pitch our tent there. And that's just that. That's just what it is. If you enjoyed this video, you find any kind of sense in it, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to this channel. All we do here is grow, share common sense, and then go a little deeper. If you're yet to register for my conference, 19th of July, Lagos is where it's at. I'll put the link down in the description. Get a ticket. It's only small that is remaining, and I'll see you in my next video very shortly. Or we'll just link up in Lagos. Don't mention no, we don't do that here.